Hi, and welcome to another episode of Latina Leadership Series. My name is Angelica Casares, and I am your host. On today's episode, I have Paola from Nailed It. So I'm here at the Spoiled Latina Summit for the weekend here at the Baldwin Hotel, and one of the vendors happens to be Paola. Paola, what are you doing here?
I am here to make sure everybody that's here in the event has their nails done right.
I got it done. I had to get it done. So I was wearing neon, and y'all this is a beautiful neon color, and you're just doing them all for the not the audience, I guess the attendees.
Yes.
Okay. So how long ago did you meet Yvonne?
I've been knowing Yvonne, I want to say 5 years. Around 5 years, yeah.
Okay. How did you meet her?
So she's an influencer. She's pretty known here in Houston.
Yeah.
She's really big with the Latin community.
Uh-huh.
Us being in the nail salon, there's not a lot of Latin nail salons.
No.
So we wanted to make sure that we get with influencers so we can know, so her audience can know that we're here.
Yeah.
We'll understand them. We know what they want.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you met Yvonne, and then you decided. So have you been a vendor with her before?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
I believe 4 years.
Okay, nice. Okay, so how did y'all end up just deciding that you're into everybody's nails, or is that something that you've always done as a vendor?
That's something we've always done as a vendor. Actually, she was my first vendor, and after her, we've been getting booked with Bucanas, with Journeys, and we've been doing so many events after.
This is such It's such a great concept to get into, like the mindset of having the ladies know that you're an experienced Latina that has a salon out here.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of which, how did you get started?
Well, I've been in the industry for 14 years. Long time.
Yeah.
My mom did hair. So whenever I would go, when I was in high school, she'll be like, Mija, whenever you get out of school, you gotta come help me, wash hair.
Yeah.
I was not the best. Poor ladies, they had their back all wet. Like, it was the worst ever. And then after that, graduated high school, went off to college, and obviously I needed a job.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, yeah, you can work here. You do need a license. So I was going to college to be a nurse, and I also went to school to get my license to be a hairstylist. Okay. But I was looking for the cheapest school I can find because they were also expensive, and this was my side thing, so I had to pay out of pocket.
So your side hustle.
Yeah. And so one of the cheapest schools that I was able to find was a Vietnamese school.
Okay.
And everybody in there was not going for hair.
Oh.
They were going for nails. It was all the Vietnamese going to get licensed for their nails.
Yeah.
So, but I was going for hair.
Okay.
But it was just the cheapest I can find. I was like, it is what it is. I'm going to go to this school. They were able to work with my schedule. And so I enrolled and I started going. But instead of them having me practice on hair, they had me practice nails.
Nails.
And I was just doing nails. And that's where the idea came up. I was like, Mom, what if we add nails to the salon? She's like, well, I guess.
So that's how it started to take off.
So that's how I started with the nails.
So how was it flying clients? How was it finding the clients, finding the people who that you are different, that you can be trusted? Because honestly, when you the space is influctuated with Vietnamese nail artists because they, that's a really good trade that they do well, right? But you were trained in that school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how was it for you finding clients?
Well, first with my mom, with her clients that she already had.
Oh, you already had a built-in.
So she already had some clientele, and I would just be like, do you want me to do your nails? And I actually wasn't charging nothing because I needed that practice. My nails, I came a long way. My nails were horrible, so I was like, they'll be free, and obviously they'll give me tips or whatever not. And then I went up to $10, $20, and then eventually I was able to charge what I wanted to charge, because I knew I was worth them paying me now the good amount of money. Yeah.
So how did it take off? Because now you have a brick and mortar, now you have nail techs, now you have staff.
I have staff.
Yeah, so how did it take off?
You know what? My mom passed. My mom passed 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And before she passed, she got really sick.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually had to move in with me. I was very young, actually. I got my first home when I was only 18 years old. I was young, yes. So I became a mother at the age of 17. My father-in-law and mother-in-law helped me and my husband get our first home. They're like, you have a baby, y'all need to live together.
Mm-hmm.
And after that first 2 years of us living alone, obviously we didn't know what it was like to have our own responsibilities.
Yeah.
But then during that time, my mom also got sick. She got breast cancer.
Oh.
And my mom, she couldn't work anymore. And being in the beauty industry, you don't have, as a self-employment, you don't have insurance or,
a lot of savings. Because you put back into the business.
Exactly.
You do.
And she ended up having to move in with me.
Okay.
Me, my mom, my dad, my sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, like we it's like we went backwards.
Yeah.
Everything that my mom had worked for, it's like she had to close her shop down. We had to all live together. And then it was during the recession too, 2008. My husband lost his job.
Yeah.
It was like it was a lot. But I could no longer work at the salon anymore, so I had to travel to people's houses, which was very convenient for my clients. They loved it that I was able to travel to them.
But it's hard for you because you got to pack up and do.
It was a lot, and then getting stuck in traffic, and that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, and as my clientele started growing even more, word of mouth, social media wasn't as big back then as it is now. I'm thankful for social media now. And we were just traveling, and it just became so hectic, and my clientele grew so much. But I'm like, you know what? How about y'all come to me now? And they started coming to my house. And then it just became, I'm like, I don't want anybody just coming inside my house. My husband built me a shed.
A she shed.
A she shed. So it was so cute because the outside didn't look as nice, but once you went in, there's like, what? Like I had the whole leopard going on and the nail station, and I had a TV, a AC unit, and then it just went from there. So after I did that maybe for like 3 years or so, then when I was gonna start doing my clinicals to be a nurse, I had to decide if I came with the I knew I wanted to do nails, but I didn't know if it was gonna work or open up my business was gonna work or not. But I was like, you know what, if this doesn't work, I'll just keep doing the nursing, like I'll be fine. And that's what
you got your degree in nursing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go for I was scared. I think for anybody, I think fear really takes over you.
It is, because when it's yours, it's like there's nobody.
Yeah. But I started doing a lot of I started reading a lot of books.
Business books?
Business books,
Okay.
motivational books. So one of my first books was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah. I barely bought that book because I heard that it's a good book to like read on and to get to, Whoa. So you knew from the beginning how,
Yeah, so I did Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I did Law of Attraction, and that's how I just started manifesting everything that I wanted. And I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. Doors are just gonna open for me, even though I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go for it. If it doesn't work, worst case scenario, I'm back where I'm at right now. So let's just go for it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I opened doors in August. So we're gonna be 9 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it was hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 months in, I almost told my husband, like, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah. It's a lot of investment. It's a lot of initial investment. And I think that's where the trip up sometimes happens. There's things that you were unforeseen, and you don't know where, and so a lot of mistakes are made in your pocket, on your money, on your dime. So being an entrepreneur, it's amazing. Yeah. But it's you gotta push. There's some things that you're just like, oh, what the hell's going on? So you opened up 9 years ago. You were gonna close within 3 months.
Well, we were. I was the reason 3 months is because, like you said, there were so many things that I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah.
So before I opened, I got my notebook. I'm like, okay, I need to have this. How many tables? I need this. I need that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, being new to opening a business and knowing nothing, mm-hmm. I didn't know I had to go get permits with the city. I didn't know I had to get permits to plumbing. I didn't know I need to hire an architect, an engineer. I didn't know none of these extra expenses. Mm-hmm. So once I hit that bump, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Yeah. Where am I going to get this money from?
So how did you push?
I just worked extra hours. Me, my husband, we went into our savings. And that's how we did it. And I think that's what kind of pushed me. I'm like, no, this is our hard-earned money. Like, I have to push through. Like, I have to. Like, I'm not gonna back out. Like, we're already in it. Yeah. Just keep going.
Well, congrats. That's a big step. Yeah. So a lot of people, it's a lot of startup when you do items like this, and it is a great place to start when you have a minute. But brick and mortar is completely separate and different. Yeah. So I definitely get that. So you're in 9 years. How is it for you now? What would you say now to the entrepreneurs of today, or the younger techs, or the younger nail techs who look up to you?
You know what? To all my girls when they first come in, all the new techs, and for all my techs that I have now, I always encourage them for them to one day open their own business. Okay. And I help them. I guide them throughout the way. I've had so many girls. Techs that have worked with me for several years, and then eventually they venture out on their own. But I'm there to guide them. You know, I want to make sure they don't do those mistakes that I did. You know, it's better for, look up to somebody who already did those errors. Yeah. That way you don't do them again. Yeah.
That's okay. Well, that's amazing. Yeah. It's not. It is always. What you see somebody move forward and you see them do better, sometimes even then you're like, fuck yeah, like this is where we're at, because in all honesty, when they see them, they start looking for people around them. They're like, okay, I'm gonna look for somebody who's closer to me. Exactly. I'm gonna look, you know what I mean? Your clientele is the same but different. Yeah. And so you know what I mean? Like, it's amazing to be able to help and support younger girls who are doing exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And we have clients that come from all over Houston, so we're very central, so we're close to downtown. And we have people who come from Galveston, Conroe, Porter. They do like hour drives to come to us.
Look, I'm that kind of person that when I find somebody who knows how to do it right, I'm loyal. When it comes to like my hair, my feet, my nails, I am loyal. Yeah. I don't care if you bump up your prices $20. Okay, I don't bitch and complain. I'm like, fuck yeah. You know what? I'll probably pay more. Yes, absolutely. Take my money. Because when you know somebody and you do good quality, and that's a testament for your 9 years that you do good quality. Yeah. And all that surplus of like experience that you were doing on people's, and you were going and you're going. I mean, now I'm sure you can do it with like your eyes closed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's an amazing experience. Okay, so I don't want to take away your time from like enjoying the summit and doing amazing things down there. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. I always ask the ladies on here. Do you consider yourself a leader? A Latina leader?
I have to consider myself a leader.
Okay, why?
One thing, I always find the leader, and so I want people to see me as a leader because I see my young self when I was younger, and I want to make sure I find the leader. I want to be the leader that I wanted to find when I was younger at those times. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Good. Okay, so any parting words, anything you'd like to say, anything? Or where can we find you, Doug? Where can we find you?
So we're in Instagram at nailedit_Houston. And we're off 45 and Cross Timbers.
Address?
226 East Cross Timbers.
Nice. Okay, so any parting words, anything that I missed out, anything you'd love to say?
No, just don't give up. And I actually did a post yesterday with a thing, and it says, I put a little quote. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. So it's good to dream, but make sure you always get up and you work for it. Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Today I have Marisa from San Antonio, Texas. Marisa, so let's introduce you. Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, Well, I am a Latina lifestyle blogger. First, I'm a mom, but after that, I'm Mariah's mom. I always say I'm Mariah's mom. But yes, I am a Latina lifestyle blogger based out of San Antonio, Texas. I'm also a podcaster. I have a podcast called Girl Talking Mas that has been running since 2016, and I'm so proud of it. It is an interview series. We have interviewed amazing people from all walks of life about their business, about their background, about their journey. So I have
amazing. It sounds like what I do on here.
It sounds like what you do on here. Yeah. So I kind of started that and just I think I just wanted to connect with people that I was inspired by my whole life.
Yeah.
So I want to say the first few people that I reached out to were people that I didn't think would even probably talk to me.
Okay.
And one of them was Rosie Mercado. She is a plus size model, beautiful, amazing, like works for Lane Bryant.
She's here. So by the way, we're here at the Latina. Oh my God. I like that. Speak words. Yes. The Spoiled Latina Summit. So we're here, and she's here also.
She is here. Yeah. So and it was just so amazing because connecting that way with people and hearing their story, it just started to inspire me, and I started to interview more people like Yvonne and and more, and even like the keynote speaker today, I was able to interview Chiquis and all her brothers and sisters.
You have already?
I have. I interviewed them when the Riveras came out.
Okay.
Through over the phone. I was part of a group of podcasters invited to interview them. So I've interviewed Paulina Rubio, Luis Fonsi. I mean, I've gotten to do some crazy stuff that I would have never thought I would have been able to do. Yeah. But then I've also been able to like build a community, especially in my San Antonio area, with some fellow content creators and put on events for the community, which has been everything to me. And I think I've recently been kind of like going over because we all have the imposter syndrome, and sometimes I feel like, do I belong here? Like, should I be doing this? I don't know, like who am I to be sharing this part of me? I do feel like that sometimes. And I know we all go through that, no matter how much success you get, no matter, I've gotten, $4,000 gigs and I've gotten $50 gigs, so I mean, I've been at the both, extreme spectrum of like, yes, I get this great, job, and I get to work with this amazing brand that I love. And then sometimes like, and it's not about the money, but it's about like, does my voice matter? Okay. What I'm saying, is it relevant? Who's connecting with it? And doing these events in San Antonio where I get to meet the community, they come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, like I love the way you and your daughter are, and you guys connect so great, and I see that, and I love when you share this, or I love when you do this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like thank you so much. That means so much to me because they're really connecting.
Because you're sharing. What it is that it's real life.
Yeah, and my blog is called Mexi Moments, and when I started it, I moved here from Detroit, Michigan, picked up everything I had, and me and my daughter moved here. I drove the 1,500 miles by myself. Me, Mariah, and my dog, Daisy. Hi, Daisy. And we drove here by ourselves. Took me 2 days because I had to stop and sleep. And I got here and I was just like, what am I going to do with my life? Because I was starting over again. And I was like, I want to start a blog. I'm going to start a blog, and I want it to be something Mexicana. And I was like, Mexi, okay, Mexi what? Mexi this, Mexi that. I was like, Mexi Moments. And I'm going to share moments in my life. So that's how I kind of came up with the name. Sounds like Mexi Moments. But
clever. Because she also has Girl Talking Mas. Like, you get it. Like, you understand the concept.
And that's what I wanted people to do. Like, because people are like, oh, Mexi Moments. Oh, I get it. Mexican moments. I was like, yeah, sharing Mexican moments, my culture, my community, what I wanted to embrace. Reason why I wanted to move to San Antonio. My grandmother was from Texas. She was from La Feria, which is like down south, Valley, Rio Grande Valley area. And she practically raised me, and she always talked about Texas. Loved Texas. Wanted, always, just, and I think I just had Texas in my head like my whole life growing up, and I'm like, I'm just gonna move there one day.
Yeah. Okay, so you were there. You moved here from Detroit, and you're doing all of this. Your mom is from down south, and you want to share these moments. But I have a question for you.
Yes.
How did you start? I understand you started and you wanted to see what you're doing. Why blogging? Did you see other people doing it, or what was the law of attraction for you?
I think I have an attraction for writing. I always wanted to write.
Okay.
And I was like, do I want to write a book? What am I going to write about? Like, what am I going to share? Like, what do I know? And I think when I moved here, I felt really like kind of like, I need to figure myself out again. And so I think, I think I was reading blogs at that point, and I was just like, I wonder if I can like write something like this and make a cool website and just share what me and Mariah are doing with our lives now that we moved. And my family can read it, my friends can read it. I did not think it was going to be like a, big, platform that's connecting community across social platforms. But when I started it, I was initially just like, I'm just going to share my life on this platform that's going to represent me. I don't know if I didn't feel represented.
Okay.
And maybe I felt like I wanted to create something, a space that I could feel comfortable sharing my story with other people, and getting that connection.
So in the process, going down that road, did you find obstacles, or were you like presented with situations that you had to like the adversities of it?
Yeah, I mean,
Blogging as a whole, because it's new, it's a monster.
It's new, and I feel like when we did it, 6 years ago, there were a lot less of us than there is now. Like now it's a whole different thing. It's like an influencer thing and a content creator thing, and there's YouTubers and TikTokers and all this stuff. And when we started, we were literally, it was, writing, 500, 600 words solely on the blog for people to read. And I think that's what maybe inspired me to start my podcast, because I was like, are people really reading my...
Oh, they're still reading.
Yeah,
sure. They're still reading.
They're still reading. And I was like, so I was just wondering, I'm like, I wonder if I should just branch out and start putting some of these interviews that I'm doing on a podcast.
Do you feel like you get comfortable with the mic better than you do with writing?
I do.
Yeah.
I love the mic. I love the mic.
I do too.
Yeah, I can let myself freely go. You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
She knows what I'm talking about. And when I'm writing, I do get writer's block. I'm gonna be totally honest. I've hardly written on my blog this year.
Okay.
But I have things I want.
As well, everybody does.
As well, we all kind of get taken different ways. Yeah. But I do have some things that I'm gonna go back and write, which about this experience, because this whole weekend has been amazing. I connected with so many people. Got to reconnect with people like you, and it's just been like amazing. But I mean, there have been big adversities. And like I said, I feel like imposter syndrome has been a big part of my pulling me back, and I think that's why I'm probably not as successful as probably I could have be right now.
Are you self-sabotaging?
I think I'm self-sabotaging, and I think sometimes I think I'm not good enough, and I think it has a lot to do with my anxiety, which is something I've recently connected with, identified, and got help for.
Nice.
Yes.
Good.
And and I think I needed to do that, and I think I didn't do that for so long that I was kind of like holding myself back. And I mean, and I'm great in my career, because my career is in media and broadcasting also, like my real job.
What do you do?
I do commercial advertising for iHeart.
Okay.
So I work in radio, so like we place the commercial all across the country.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've worked in that field between TV and radio for the last 25 years.
Okay.
So that is my background. So like talking like this.
9 to 5.
Yeah, my 9 to 5. But I'm saying talking like this is very comfortable for me. Like I've been in this situation, industry type of thing. So for me to be able to do it myself, but then I started to realize when I did get to work with amazing people or do interviews with people like Paulina Rubio and things like that, like I was like, wow, like they want to talk to me. Like they're letting me do an interview with them, and then I started to realize like I do have something, and then it goes back and forth. It's like you think you don't have enough, but then you get that spark, or you see somebody, or you meet somebody like when I met Angelica, and you see and you get that empowerment from somebody, from like people like Yvonne, who has constantly lifted her Latina community every year. Yes, and she never lets us down. Like she always takes us with her. She has been a big mentor to me. She has. I mean, I have her on. I can text her anytime I need to. And that like things. And things like that. Like I've held that close to me, because those relationships have been everything that have gotten me further and further, where I'm like, I get pulled back where I don't think I'm enough, but then sometimes you need to listen to that spark, and that spark will tell you like,
what does it sound like to you when you hear the spark, when you hear that moment of hey, you are good enough? What does it look like? What does it sound like for you? I love what you're talking about right now.
Oh, thank you. It's really my journey. I mean, it's because like I said, I feel like I go back and forth, and it is a battle, and that's the thing that you have to realize, is that you're gonna get pulled back, but sometimes you have to sit down and just reground yourself. And I think that's a lot to do with what I've been going through this whole year, because it's been a rough year for me.
Okay.
And I've been going through that, and yeah, but to me, it just sounds like, it sounds peaceful.
Okay.
And I've been posting this lately. My
Mhm.
peace is priceless.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Yeah.
And I have peace now, and it's like, and it's not just peace in like a sense of, but like the chaos in my head,
Mhm.
you know, the anxiety, taking that, you know, getting help for that, believing in myself, and saying those affirmations to myself. I did this thing where I put the Post-it notes on my mirror
Uh-huh.
every morning. I got up and I said all my affirmations to myself.
What does one of them sound like?
You are enough. What
That
was
really
it?
should be powerful.
Yeah, and
You
it,
wouldn't think so. You think outside of the world, you're like, yeah, of course I enough. But sometimes they don't believe that.
no, and sometimes, yeah, and that's the thing, and it's like I've questioned that so much time in my life, in my blogging life. I mean, I've thought of hitting delete so many times, and just being like, you know, I don't want to. I'm done with that. I don't, you know, and then sometimes people are like, oh, like, what's a blogger? Like, what do you do? And I'm just like, so much, you know. We tell stories, we connect community, we put ourselves out there, for somebody else to connect with it, and we get those, and then we get that one message. You get that one email that says, "Oh my gosh, I was, sorry, my thing's falling." You get that one, you get that one email that tells you you've connected with somebody and they felt what you were saying and they were touched by it, and you get that emotional, like one girl, and I'll just briefly tell you this. She's in Florida. I've never met her before in my life. She's been following me on Instagram forever. She's more than half my age, because I'm 46, gonna be 46. She's 25. She has her own business, and she said, you know, I've been following you for the longest time. And she goes, and I want to give up, and then I look at your page and I keep on going.
Oh.
And I was just like, what? And she was like, because I keep seeing you keep going. And because I do share when I feel like I'm falling apart.
Yeah.
And then I do share, like, okay, you guys, I got myself back together. I did this. I said these affirmations. I did this, you know, mind work, whatever, you know, spiritual work, whatever I needed to do to get myself through what I needed to get through. And you need to, yeah, and you need to just build that. Like, I have a circle now of people that I can count on. And I didn't have that before. And so, like, things like that, like, and so, yeah, so just like hearing her say that to me, and I was like, you are like, I feel so amazing, you know, like, that was help, you know, it helped me. She helped me more than probably I helped her, but she's like, you helped me keep going. But I was like, you telling me that.
There's sometimes you get the messages, you're like, you're so silly. And I'm like, you know what? That's all the years that I built it. That's the only message I received is you're so silly. It was worth it.
Yes.
Because I was like, good. Then you got it.
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 Yes.
Yeah. That's so it's more worth than what you people think it's worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think personally we should be able to like be like, oh, I'm so worth, I'm so this, I'm so that. But sometimes reaffirmations from somebody who's watching us.
Yes.
Feels like you're like, okay, good.
Yeah, because they're all watching us, but we don't watch them, and we don't get to connect with them. So
or sometimes we do, but you know what I'm saying?
But we don't get to, we don't get that, we don't know what someone's feeling or everything. And I can tell you, like, I probably don't always say it every time I'm watching, but I've seen you when you were going through your hard times, and you put it out there, and I've connected with it. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going through it too. Like, it's not just me. And you have given such great advice. Like, sometimes I just sit with you on your lives and just listen to you because it's therapeutic. And I appreciate you putting that out there, because I know you go through a lot of hard times, and it's hard for you to share that, you know.
I'm not putting, I don't want to put like a lot of out here, but I've seen you've been going through the last couple of times. And I go, even if you're not on my feed, I go because I'm like, did I miss it? So I'm like, I wonder, how is she doing?
Yes.
And I would hate to bother, be like, hey, how are you doing? Send me a DM to be like, hey, I'm like, no, she's gonna share what she wants to share, and I want to make sure that that, and within myself, I'm like, I want to think and be like, I hope she's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I look for her, I'm like, and if I read, you know, if I see the update, I'm like, I hope she's okay. Yeah. I hope she's doing good today. Yeah. I hope that moment has surpassed. I know it's been so long. I hope that time has come through for her. I hope she's found something on the other side. But I do keep up with people. That's the way that I communicate with a lot of people, and the way I keep up. Thank you. And I keep up with it because it matters to me.
Yeah.
And so when I post intentionally, I want it to matter to somebody too.
Yes.
And like I said, so when they say things like you're so silly, I'm like, good, you got it.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but thank you, Marissa. That was amazing. Thank you so much. So what are you doing next?
Right now, I'm kind of concentrating a little bit more on community events.
Mm-hmm.
I have recently collaborated with 2 other content creators in the San Antonio area, Angel Santiago and Natasha Gonzalez.
Okay.
Natasha's here with me at the Spoiled Latina Summit. And we put together a good vibe tribe, and we basically go to businesses, local businesses, and put events on for them, invite the community out, and we're kind of like doing, so just kind of bringing the community out to like all these local businesses, whether it's a food truck park, whether, it's a local bar.
So you moved it offline.
So so I'm kind of doing more events now that COVID's kind of like, it's not really, but it's a little bit more. So just trying to bring the community together. So I concentrate on that. And I have more podcasting interviews coming up. So I'm trying to mother my podcast a little bit. So she's the one that gets a little neglected. I'm not gonna lie. My blog is like my main one that I pay attention to. But yeah, I mean, it's just been an amazing journey, and like I come to places like events like this to regroup myself, and because this is the part where like I would start to think like, should I be doing this? Should I be in this place? Should I be on this platform?
Yeah. And you start to think like, I need to be here.
Yeah, and now I know, like, with, hearing other people's journeys, hearing other people's stories, connecting with, new creators, and seeing everybody has a different journey, and we're all here, sharing it, and it really is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. But before you go, can you, for those listening who are resonating with you and like, you know what, I like this girl, but where can I find her? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Mexi Moments, and my podcast is called Girl Talking Mas, and we are also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and my blog is at MexiMoments.com.
Nice. Okay, so before you leave, I ask all my employees here is, do you consider yourself a leader?
Yes.
Why?
I didn't at some point, but now I feel like I have. I think especially with my daughter turning 18, and I am, I raised a whole person. Like I'm like, I know yours did too. We have a whole adult. I was like, you know what? Like, I can do this. Like this. Like I think I was questioning like. I question myself all the time. Obviously, I said that 1,000 times in this interview, but it happens in motherhood, in life, in everything, in career. But I do feel like I have something to give and something to show by, and I think the connection I've made with people and where I've gotten that reciprocated proves to me that I can be a leader.
Damn! Holy shit! I'm greatly behind her.
We did it.
That's amazing. I love that line. Okay, I'm gonna grab that and put that. Oh, that's the one.
Put it away.
That's that one liner.
Keep that.
Yeah, that's that one liner that I know where it's going.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
Angelica, thank you so much for this. This has been amazing. Of course, every time I connect with you is an amazing time. But I really appreciate you, Juan. You guys are amazing.
Thank you. Well, really quick, so find her, look for her everywhere. Of course, I'm going to tag her, link her, anything that you want, you will find it. I have Rita. Finally, we've met. Okay, so Rita, you run Latina Podcasters. You are the founder, the visionary, the mind behind Latina Podcasters. I'm already getting into the conversation. Good God.
That's okay.
Can you introduce yourself and let the audience know what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Rita Bautista, and I am the founder of Latina Podcasters at Latina Podcasters Network and Latino Pods. And so I run a network of 36 podcasts where we have the opportunity to connect and amplify the voices of Latinos and also connect them with brands and monetization opportunities for their podcasts.
Awesome. How did you get started? I'm assuming you're a podcaster yourself.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I had a podcast, just like every other podcast really gets started. You think you're going to like kick open the door and all of a sudden 8 million people are going to start listening to you.
I just hope.
Right, yeah.
We're not Joe Rogans, yeah.
Oh, we are.
Because Collectively.
Joe Rogan took 15 years, you guys. Just stay consistent. You'll be at 15 million downloads, yeah. But the cool thing is that I did start a podcast. It was called Empowerment and All That, and I was set out to empower the women of the world. And then I realized while I had started the podcast, and I legitimately started out in my closet with like a microphone and Anchor. So like for everybody who uses Anchor, don't worry. It continues to grow and become better. Like the hosting platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's not a shout out, by the way. That's literally what I was using. But the cool thing is that it struck curiosity in me, and I was like, there's no way I'm the only Latina in the entire world that's podcasting right now. This was back in 2019.
Yeah.
And so I started to see these Facebook groups, and through the Facebook groups, I started there was like She Podcasts.
Yeah.
There was a larger Facebook groups that I was part of, and I was like, okay, well, if I do this, like I can promote my podcast, it's fine, whatever. But I'm like, that's not enough.
No.
You know, like I want to see people that look like me. I want to, you know, relate and have conversation and stories about.
As opposed to getting lost in the shuffle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, as I tell everybody, if you don't see something, start it. And so I did. And, you know, Latina Podcasters was born on a Facebook page in 2019. And then I went to Podfest. It was like the last thing before the shutdown. Like legitimately, we were getting on our planes and they were shutting the airport down.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So when I was there, I was lucky to be surrounded by some amazing people, and I hosted like the impromptu first Latino meetup of podcasters ever. And I had people from like the veterans that have been podcasting who have won awards, but there was never a space for them.
Yeah.
To like, to the new podcaster who was like, I just want to find a place, you know, like we need community. And I think that's the biggest thing about anything that's created for us and for our community is like, we grow through community. We grow through connection. And like, because of that, the money comes, not the other way around. The money comes because we build connection. It's like, it's legitimately foundation for us to create a family in these spaces. And so, while I'm at Podfest, Elsie's like, so this is a network? And I was like, no, it isn't. And she's like, it's a network. And I was like, no, it's not. And then sure enough, after that, it slowly started moving into becoming a network. Yeah.
So AC is one of the founders of She Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she is also a huge community support through Libsyn, and is always looking out for everyone. Like, there's not one person that I know, whether Latinos or, you know, people of color, that she's not helping. And she's like, even if it's not monetary, she's like giving you content, information, like anything that she can do to provide support, she is. And I love to always talk about her, because there's never been a one time that I reach out to her and I'm like, hey Elsie, can I, and then it immediately like phone call, it's done. Like, it's never a question, you know what I mean? Like, she's just that support, and knowing that she's been around in the podcasting space for so many years and has been an award winner and like just doing great things.
Yeah.
It's great to have somebody pioneer, like championing you to do the stuff. So yeah.
So you started your podcast. You mentioned, did you think you were going to do a podcast, or how did you start, or how did you know you were good behind the mic?
So I didn't.
Okay.
I was talking to two of my girlfriends who are like, they're both Indian urologists. And this is why this is important, right? These are two women of color. 0.00001% of the urologists in the world, and we all lived in the same apartment complex. And I had been talking about wanting to do something, because right before that I had started posting all these positive quotes on Instagram, because I remember when I was in a bad place, I would go to Instagram and look for positive quotes. So I was like, you know what, I gotta give back to the world what it gave me, so I'm gonna repost all these positive quotes. And one of the girls was like, hey, you know what? You should probably start a podcast. There's something here. I don't know what it is. And I was like, no, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? The next day is when I had heard like an ad about Anchor. And so I downloaded the app. And
the word was talking to you.
Yeah. And she forced me to record my first episode in her apartment. You can still listen to it. It is garbage. Like, it was a great first start, you know, but but I will never edit that episode. I'm going to leave it exactly the way it is, because I love to see, like, progression in life, you know, and it's still there, and it's You can go, Empodera Latina still has the first episodes of empowerment and all that, so we just rebranded, but we're not going to hide those episodes because they're still part of the growth and you know, all that stuff. And so we recorded the episode. It's called Self-Love and All That. And it just grew from there, and like I'm just shocked that was only legitimately almost 3 years ago, and where we are right now.
Ago, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It feels like it was like last a couple of months or something like that.
It really
Do you feel like you've grown? Like I know as a podcaster and now as a networker, as a network affiliate type of company, organization, do you feel like you've grown?
Oh yeah, I mean exponentially. I think I've grown in the confidence of not being afraid to show up 100% as myself anymore.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
Yeah, so like in the past I worked in different industries and I was never really allowed to be like Latina.
Okay.
You know, like it was always about like being conservative, following the status quo, handling everything for other people and making sure that I was selling their idea of what was good.
Their image.
Their image, yeah. And so now it's like, no, like I wore a big twirly like flowery dress today, you know,
You look
like
good.
and then I have little chancletas on. You can't see them; they got glitter and everything on.
You look
And-
good.
Thank you.
It
Thank
looks
you
really good.
so much.
I know, coming out here like with fucking neon.
Yeah.
This is not what I would look like. Yeah, but no, you look good. I see what you're saying. I hear what you're
but-
saying.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody here, well, we're surrounded. We're at the Spoiled Latina Summit, and props to Yvonne for what she's doing.
Yeah.
But you look at all the people that are here, and like a little piece of you is in every single one of the people that are here. You're looking at like the girl that's 19 years old who shows up with her dress super tight and maybe short, you know, and then
adorable.
they do, and I'm like, and then like you with your colors, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing to be surrounded by like the energy that I've never been around fully professionally, and I don't feel like it's work anymore. Like I think it's just a flow of energy that I have now that works with everything that I love, and like that embodies who I am as a person.
So you're seeing yourself more. You're,
Like in
you're
every
watching yourself grow.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so but you've also developed a community. Actually, you have hired people on to help you.
Oh yeah.
What does that look now that you are not doing everything on your own? What does that look like now for you? Now that like, because it starts to reaffirm to you that I'm onto something.
Yeah.
This feels right, and now that people are like joining me, this is something.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you now? Starting to come full circle.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't believe it. You know, sometimes I'm like, is this really my life? Did I really build this out? Like, is this like all the hurdles, all the ups and downs, everything that's ever happened in my life? Like, did this really happen? Is this real? You know, like sometimes you have that disbelief, but then you have those moments where you're like, oh, I'm hanging out with one of my friends who's also part of our company now. And then like, you know, we have 36 podcasters, all contract employees that work with us. And I say employees because like I would call them family, honestly. But you know, we're able to financially give back to the podcasters as well. And it's not giving back, by the way. It's not a nonprofit because we definitely work for money.
Yes.
But it's cool to just, it feels like I wake up and I hang out with the coolest people in the world. And like we are conditioned to believe that that's not life. We're conditioned to believe that we have to work extremely hard, that if you know, you have to work hard, you have to work long hours, you have to do all this stuff. And it's like, if you build something with enough momentum, you don't have to work as hard as you think you do.
Oh, shit, you hit different when you said that. We're conditioned to believe that that's not work.
Absolutely.
We're yeah.
I mean, Latinos in general, I mean, we're basically, you know, we're the service workers of the country right now.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say right now. I said we're shifting that narrative a lot, and I challenge everybody who's listening right now to start shifting your own narrative in the way that you talk about our community, because we are the gatekeepers of the conversation, not other people. We control the narrative, not other people. We tell our stories, not others, right? And for so long, we've allowed others to tell our stories.
We have.
Yeah.
We have, and it's about time that we start to take control of that conversation.
Absolutely.
And not allowing others to narrate our own life. They start to talk about you, and you're like, you got a lot of it wrong. well, let me tell my story. Let me tell you
Right.
how it looks like. Let me see what it looks like. Let me tell you how it sounds like. Yeah, that's amazing, Rita. I think you're doing an amazing job. You're growing this, and I love watching. Some of the ladies that I have been friends with since I've started podcasting. I'm watching them grow with you.
Yeah.
And you have an amazing network. So anybody who wants to be part of that network,
Yes.
how can they reach you?
So right now we are asking people to send us direct emails with your information, and we will send you a Google form once you do. So you can email myself, Rita, at latinapodcasters.com, or Monica at latinapodcasters.com, and we'll shoot you a Google form with information to fill out so that we can make sure that, one, we connect to you, and also that you connect with us, so that we are not, we want to make sure that you're still going to bring your authentic voice forward, and we don't want to control what you have to say. We want you to be able to say whatever you want to say.
Okay, so all my interviewees here, I asked this question, and I know the answer. I'm just curious to see what you're going to respond with. Do you consider yourself a leader?
That's a good question. Yeah, by the definition of being a leader, yeah, I do. But I think that that question is like asking anybody, oh, do you think you're a person? Like, all of us are leaders in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
I'm just lucky that I've been able to connect with so many amazing people who see my vision and believe in it and continue to follow me forward.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to expand on that a little bit, because I think I know, but I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Being a leader, what does it take to be one?
Grit. I think that's the number one word. You have to be willing to go through it sometimes. Like, not everybody's gonna wake up every day motivated, and that's okay. And knowing that not every day is gonna be like sunshine and rainbows, but 95% of the time, your day is gonna be fine. And if you understand that, then everything else works out. I think people give up too soon, and you're like, there's this like thing on Instagram, I guess it is, but where the guy is like mining for diamonds, and this one guy's like one chisel away, and the other one is like maybe I don't know how many yards away from that, but he legitimately is just like continuously pounding. But the one who's like this far away from winning gives up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you as a leader, I'll use that term loosely, right? As a leader, you have to know, there's like a knowing inside of you that no one under the sun can tell you anything other than that. And you have to be willing to face people who are going to not agree with you until they finally understand the value.
I hear you. Expand on that, though.
Yeah.
Expand on that. Expand on the fact that so would it be other people who considers you a leader? Would it be other people who would, or do you feel like it's you know what, I have value. I have this that I want to give.
Yeah.
That I like to lend off. Like, I've learned this. This was difficult, but it shouldn't be difficult.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying. Like, everything's hard until it's not.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard because of your mindset. It has nothing to do with the actual the task at hand. Like, things really aren't as hard as they are, but you place a mental block, and then it becomes hard. If that makes sense. Like, things really aren't as hard as we think they are, but we allow others to guide us in the fact that it's hard. So shift that mindset and believe more positively in the things that you're doing, so that when you're faced with adversity in a leadership role, you can look past it, because nothing is bad enough that's going to stop it.
Yeah. So again, Rita, Latina Podcasters on Instagram, send them DMs, emails. They're looking for Latina Podcasters. If you're out there, you're interested, or I think you'll even give like some information on like how to start and what to use and the equipment and all sorts of great conversations and amazing things. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, we're not actually doing launching, but we are looking for more people who've already been working in the industry.
Yeah.
Now, if you have an extremely creative idea that is very unique and something that stands out, we're more than happy to talk about launching a new episode or a new podcast. But for right now, we are looking for talent, and it doesn't matter where you are. But I really, really would love to find more podcasters in the Texas area. We are based in Houston, Texas. So I wasn't born in Texas, but I am a Texan at heart. So I want to see some more Latinos throughout the state.
That's awesome. Well, I do say that because on the platform, when people ask questions, people answer.
Oh, absolutely.
So when they're like, what am I? What do I use? What do I do? So how do I improve my quality of audio? Because it's podcasting.
Yeah, we are more than happy if you have questions about podcasting. I mean, I'd love to be able to help out, but we also have some pretty awesome people on our team and other podcasters as well that we can point you in the direction of to be able to help you get more information on, launching a podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, again, so it's Latina podcasters all at once because everybody uses Instagram and Facebook group, right? It's a group.
Yeah.
Latina podcasters and then IG Latina podcasters. Is there anything that I missed that you want to share? That you want to? Yeah.
We have a brother network called Latino Pods, and it was launched because we wanted to also elevate the male voices in podcasting. So right now we have some really cool podcasts that have launched with us. We have about 9. Our goal is to get to, overall, I would love to have 100 podcasts by the end of this quarter. But I think my team's probably going to kill me if I do that. However, but we do have a great set lineup on Latino Pods, so you can find them on Instagram as well at Latino Pods. Both networks, you can find a list of the podcasters at latinapodcasters.com and latinopods.com. And at the end of the month, we're going to be launching an app for Latina podcasters and Latino Pods. And so it's going to make it a lot easier for you to find your favorite podcasts. All of them will be featured on our app. And then you can also find them on Apple Podcasts by the end of the month. There'll be a list called Latina Podcasters Network and Latino Pods. Each one of them will have all the podcasts listed under there. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to discover our podcasts.
Oh, that's so cool. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're amazing at all of this stuff. So
we're working.
So find Latina podcasters, find Rita online, find the group on Facebook. Again, send them a message and tell them all the great things they're doing. Today, I don't even have to introduce you. I don't have to introduce you, but I have to for those who are listening to audio only and you're not watching the video. If you're not, go watch the video. Go watch the video, okay? Okay, so on today's episode, Estefi, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, okay? Who are you and what do you do, amazing ma'am?
Of course. Well, my name is Estefania Saavedra. I'm so honored to be here and talking to you, Angelica. But I am a content creator, mostly on TikTok. I'm on Instagram as well, and I do like comedy. I like to do singing videos, makeup videos, but mostly a lot of people know me for my tiny hands. Las manitas.
How did you get started? I know you get asked this question a lot. How did you get started? Were you playing with the tiny hands, or was it because you do some makeup and you do some tiny hands, you do comedy, you do skits. Jenny's here also behind the camera and she's gonna come on here like afterwards. Okay, look. Breathe in, honey, because I got 2 people in here and I'm like all excited about everything. Okay, how did you get started? How did it come about? How did you become you online?
Yeah, so I actually started during the pandemic, like a lot of content creators now. But I had just recently left my job. I was in a really rough, mental, I was going through a pretty bad depression. Okay. So I started going to therapy, and my therapist was like, well, what do you like to do, Stefania? I was like, I like to make people happy. So it was like, that's when TikTok started getting big, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do some videos. I was like, okay, well, if you like doing it, do it for yourself. It doesn't matter if you get 2 views, 10 views, it doesn't matter. So I literally did that. I started for myself. I had such a good time with it. And then little by little, I started gaining followers. And I remember being at 2,000 followers, and I was like, I made it, Mom. I'm famous, but then after that, a couple of my videos started going viral, which was tiny hands. I actually had seen another content creator who's really, really big too. And she inspired me to just buy them. And then I was like, what, I think this would be really funny, on the videos. And then the second video, no lie, it went viral. Charlie Puth had duetted it, so many duets on it. It was amazing. And then I think people started seeing that I had other videos, and those started to go viral. So I was like, I I gotta keep it going, and yeah, that's how pretty much I got started.
You know, I have to tell you, I like the tiny hands, but it's your facial expressions. I have family and friends who have the same facial expressions, and they don't have to say, like, somebody will say something like you know, off far, and all we gotta do is like, oh my god. It's those facial expressions that get me every time. Did you learn that, or do you talk like that, or is it like an aunt of yours that you like borrow the facial
you know
expression?
what? That's literally me since I was a little kid. I was like, my mom would get so mad at me because she's like, "Deja de hacer esas mañas." You know, like, stop doing those faces. I even have like videos of me like 4 years old and like just doing like muecas, and I'm like, you know, like doing all these weird stuff, and my mom would be like, "Stop it," you know. But I've always been like that. I've been, and I think it also has to do a lot with like our culture, because we're so expressive.
We are.
With our faces, you know. And so like, yeah, I know a lot of people, you know, I do a couple characters. One of them is Paco, and Paco really.
You are hilarious. He is hilarious. I'm separating identities apparently.
Yeah, no, you know what? He's literally his own person, you know? So even when I record with Jenny, she's always like, yeah, so have him do this. And she's like, oh my God, you're not a he. But, you know, it literally is. Like, I take the persona.
Yeah.
But, like, once I started doing Paco, then I started to do more, like, of the facial expressions, and I just have so much fun with it. I'm like, ¿de dónde saco eso? I don't know.
That was my next question. Where does it come from? Where do you feed the inspiration?
Oh man, I have no idea. I'm just
Is
a
it
goof.
just raised as Latino? It just kind of comes?
I think it kind of comes, you know, and I'm just like, well, and you know, and even like when you're having like such a bad day, you're like, well, okay, you know, and I'm like, I'm smiling through the pain, kind of much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like through every day, I guess like just the facial expressions come, you know, and just growing up, I think I've always kind of been that like goofball and, you know, trying to make people laugh and just have a good time. Like I just love, you know, just I've always like through my friends, we have a group of friends like that I grew up with, and I've always been like, you know, the goof
of it. So I have to be very sincere and very honest. I binge your stuff because just like you, I also have gone through, and I've talked about it on here. I've gone through depression. I've gone through anxiety. I got to a point where I was like agoraphobic. I didn't leave my couch, and so I had to feed myself. Like, you have to disconnect, and so I binge your stuff. Do you also find yourself binging other people's? Who inspires you?
I do. There is a lot of people that have inspired me. I just can't really like pinpoint like just one person because I have so many different like emotions. Yeah. So like I could say like Jenny, she inspires me so much because I'm like, damn man, she's a good singer. She makes up her own like, you know, songs. I'm like, I could try to do that. I'm like, no me sale, it's okay, let's move on. But like, and just her consistency as well. Like she motivates me, you know. And then Call Me Chris is the one that did the Tiny Hands, and she's also gone through a lot of like mental health stuff, and just kind of seeing all these creative, I go through that too, and like she hit it, like pinpoint that it's so relatable. Yeah. So that, you know, that's what I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so for the young creators and you have a lot of young audience. So for the young audience, what would you like to say to them to say to them? Apparently I can't talk. What would you like to say to them that keeps you motivated and going, knowing your story?
Well, you're talking about like how young, because I ain't that young, you know. So
the audience is younger.
Age is nothing but a number.
Yeah,
you know? It's just how we feeling. Yeah. No, just keep it going. You know, as life continues and keeps going, you just got to do it too. You know, it is what it is. I pushed through. You know, and even going through, I went through depression, but sometimes it's kind of like a roller coaster for me, you know. So like I go through anxieties and I go through even sometimes panic attacks and stuff, but I just still push through.
You still get them?
I still do, yeah, man. This even like events and stuff, like I have to kind of mentally prepare myself, but I still push through because I know that if I don't come to this, then I'm just gonna miss so many opportunities. Not only just like with whatever is going on, but just in life. Literally, like, you know, I can miss so much in life, and I just don't want to do that. So just keep it going, be consistent, If things get rough, know that there's another day that's gonna come, and it's just gonna be better. It's only for the moment. Y después pasa. Yes.
So, entonces, what would you tell yourself 5 years ago, knowing what you know now today?
Girl, and just take that picture however it comes out. Because I used to be so like, I would take like 500 different angles of like trying to take a selfie. I'm like, no me gusta. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. But like, just take the picture, man. You look beautiful the way that you are. You know, just have that. You know, sometimes we're really hard on each other. But like as a person, like we're like, like Lohan's like, you know, like I'm gonna show this and then show that. But just being a content creator and seeing how other people tell me like, man, you inspire me. Like I love your self-esteem. Like you're so strong and blah blah blah. I'm like, man, I also struggle, but it has helped me open up and love myself more. Like just. You know, it's crazy. I would definitely be like, girl,
Something happens when you accept yourself.
It is incredible. You know, I've always been very chunky my whole life. But I look at my pictures back in the day when I was very slim. Like I was a lot slimmer. And there I was like, if I had the same mentality that I had when I took that picture, it would have been over for all of y'all. You know what I mean? It really would have. You know, if you could just set up if I would have had that confidence, because I saw myself when it was that picture, I was like, I'm gorda, you know, I'm gordita, like, but I look at it and I'm like, well, not really, you know, like you look amazing, you look great, you know, so that's what I wish for that.
Okay.
Yes.
I can talk to you on here forever, but I don't want to do that. I want you to go back and enjoy the summit and go do what you gotta go do.
I can do this too.
There's a bunch of people that want to meet you and talk to you, and I definitely don't want to like hug you and like keep you. I'm up here in the room and like hugging them. I hugged a couple of people and brought them all up here. But before you go, I ask all I ask everybody I interview on here. Do you consider yourself a leader?
Oh man, I do.
Okay.
Well, I mean, okay, so there's before I say why, I do, but mentally sometimes it's hard to grasp that. Like I don't see it, but other people see it in me. So yes, I guess like I consider, again, like it's hard for me to say it, but a lot of people are like, hey, you do this, you do that, you know. And yes, I know that I can take ownership for a lot of things and be a leader and lead a lot of people, and I do. But it's because of other people, of what they tell me. That's the reason why. Like they just, what they tell me and what they say, it's like, you know, the comments and the DMs that I read, they're like, wow, you really inspire me. You really make my day. I had such a hard time today, and like just watching your videos really helped. So I was like, that's what motivates me to continue the trends, continue to make people laugh, and to take what I do and what I love, and just keep it going, because it's gonna be worth it for me and for them.
Nice. So I think if I could just insert a little bit, I think it would be taken away from the people who see you as a leader. It would be taken away from them for you to be like, no, not really. But they're like, no, but I see you.
Yes.
And it's kind of.
I know. It's kind of hard, like, you know, when someone says like, oh, I like to sing, oh, you're a good singer, and you're like, I know, I'm not good. No, I know I can sing. You know, like I know I'm a pretty good singer. You know, I ain't the best. But like, yeah, with leadership, I mean, I've and not only that, even like my past jobs, I've been a store manager, I've been a supervisor, I've led a lot of things. You know, it's just believing more in myself and taking that and be like, girl, yes, you are a leader. Like, go with it, you know. But yes, it takes time, but I know it deep down.
Deep down. Again, I could sit here. I wanted to ask about her past, what she did before, and all these other things, and I won't. I'll leave you with all the other stuff. Obviously,
with the mystery.
Yes. Es misteriosa también. Like, check that out. She said I got mysterious.
I'm an open book. You can tell me whatever. I'll tell you my whole life.
The same way. Okay, so go follow her. I don't even gotta tell you go follow her. Just say hi to her in my comments. Say hi to her. If you tell her on her, hey, I seen you on Angelica, that was cool, or something. I don't know. Like, I don't even gotta tell you what to do. You know what to do on her. You know who she is, man. On today's episode, just like my last interview, I don't have to do an introduction, but because it's common courtesy and people listen to this as opposed to just watching this, Jenny, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Jenny. Well, it's Jennifer Solares. I go by Jenny. I'm a content creator on Instagram, TikTok.
On Instagram and TikTok?
Yes, and I'm excited to
What do you do on Instagram? You're comedy. You do comedy, you do skits, you do the singings, you do all the great stuff.
Yes.
How did you get started? Where did it happen?
So I actually got started,
No, you're okay.
I got started in 2014. So I started making YouTube videos because I've always been a big watcher of like YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, YouTube mostly at the beginning.
You're a consumer.
And yes, big time. I still do. And I would watch a lot of beauty videos and I love makeup and everything like that. So I started making YouTube videos for makeup though. Like just makeup. And I was trying to just, tutorials and very kind of like proper and stuff like that. And then I got married and I moved. And then, once you're married, things change a lot. So I didn't
Everything changes.
No, right.
All I heard you say is, then I got married. I was like, wow, yeah.
Wow. No. And then, so, time was different. I didn't have as much time on my hands. So then I started doing makeup looks on Instagram. So I would just like shoot one eye and I would take like 2 hours to do like a makeup look. And then I posted it and I grew a little bit, but like nobody would see my face ever, right? It was just makeup.
It was an eye.
Yeah, an eye, right? Who the heck is this?
No,
Whose eye is this? The big old eyeball? No, and then after that, it's a little bit discouraging when you're trying so hard at something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's taking like so long to grow. And so I was like, oh, let me try like outfit of the day pictures or something. So I literally, in between my break time at work, I'd go shoot at a random spot with like a lot of trees or flowers in the background and I'd like take my little outfit pictures. And then in the pandemic, I started posting on TikTok, but not as a like, oh, I want to grow on TikTok. I just started scrolling like crazy because it was so funny. Like, literally.
You can sit there for hours. They're fucking 10 seconds and you're there for like 3 hours. You're like, how the fuck?
No, literally. You know that message that comes that's like, you've been scrolling for too long. You should take a break. Mine comes up like 3 times. I'm all, shut up. Get out of it. Don't tell me what to do. No, so then, okay, so I started wanting to do the like ¿cómo se dice? Lip syncing ones.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I would do a lot of lip syncing ones, but then because I do like clean stuff, like I don't like to cuss too much and stuff like that on my account. And I was like, man, there's kind of a lot of sounds that have either like a lot of cussing or they're talking about whatever. So I was like, let me make my own, right? And I posted a couple of videos, and a friend of mine in Maryland, she's like, oh my gosh, did you see your videos are blowing up? I was like, nah. So I started like freaking out, right? But I was literally like no makeup on, looking all busted, hair in a chongo, like super crazy. And I'm like, wow, like you can actually be yourself on here. Like that's so cool, right? And then I started posting more and more of my stuff. And, oh my gosh, I'm talking so much.
No. Yeah, please. Please.
So I, like one thing that I've always done ever since I was a little kid is like making up dumb little songs. Like I'll take a little melody of a song that already exists, but I'll put my words, like something about food, like, cause literally I'm always hungry. So I'm like, oh, que tengo hambre, you know?
Your own jingles?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I posted one of those for, like, cause in the pandemic, all the restaurants closed. And I was like, man, I want to, like, literally I was in bed and I was like, I can't wait to go to like Olive Garden again and like Texas Roadhouse. Like, bro, I want to go back. And I mean, like, in my bed, I was like, oh, let me write this down. And I was like, and then the next day in my car on break at work, I was like, Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden, man, don't even get me started. So, like, I just started going off, right? And that video got like, not like 1 million views, but something like 600,000. I was like, oh my God, like, what is this? And then my friend from work, she's like, it's because that stuff is funny.
It is.
And in my head, just because it's something that I've always done, and then my, everybody's just like, that's just Jenny.
You're good at improv, like on the spot, like, you're good at that though.
I guess. when it's yourself and who kind of you've always been, you don't consider yourself as like, oh yeah, that's what I do. You
That's
know
who
what
I am, yeah.
That's who I am, right? So no, and then it's just been so cool from there to be able to do a lot of little things that I love to do, and for it to get like for people to love it as well. You know what I mean? So that was my answer for the one question that you
No, okay. So are you along with other creators have developed like other personalities, and one of them is A Fu. We all know this one.
Sad girl.
Sad girl, yeah. How did you come up with the idea of like versifying yourself? How did you know you had that talent?
I honestly didn't. Like, I didn't know. It's just, like, and I tell this to my friends, too. Like, I feel like Jenny is me on the outside, and, like, Sad Girl is me on the inside. Because, like, I grew up in Long Beach. Like, I'm from Long Beach, California. And literally on the street that I lived in, there was, like, a lot of cholos that lived on my street. So, it like, and then I have 2 older brothers. So, that way that they talk, like, sup, fool? That's just literally all that I heard, because they thought they were all bad with their friends, you know?
Yeah.
So, when they were with their friends, they talk like that. But around my parents, they never talk like that. So, they'd be like, sup, fool? And then talk like that. Because people ask me all the time, like, oh, how does it come so easy to you? And I'm like, because it's in my brain. Like, that's how I think, you know? So, Sad Girl, actually, I started doing those videos because I don't know if you remember Dogface? His video that got, like, super viral.
Yeah.
I mean, his video got so incredibly viral that I was like, I should do something.
Yeah, because you related to that, but you know that because you are like immersed in that,
right? Because you feel it, right? So I was like, I should do something, and then so that video that he did with the drinking the cranberry juice on the skateboard, I said, okay, let me do this. I'm gonna do a video of some like a chola calling her prima. And it's like saying like, hey, your ex just like went viral on TikTok. Try to get back with him. And that's how it started. She's like, hey, prima, did you see your ex, Dogface? He's going viral. Hey, if I were you, I would try to get with him again. Like, I'm tired of riding the bus, right? And like people really liked that video at first. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I enjoy making it, you know? Yeah. And then even like Dogface started following me and everything. And then I kind of had like a little back and forth. And obviously like respectfully, because I know he's like with somebody and I think they're married or engaged. And and like I would make a few videos like that, just talking about, oh, okay, my ex, Dogface, and take me back. And I was like, But then after it just kind of started like becoming she started becoming her own character, like aside from everything else. And then I feel like she's evolved a little bit as well, because it's literally more me and her merged together. So it's like she's like a little bit more happy-go-lucky.
She's matured.
Right. At first she was like real like trying to be hard. You know what I mean?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
So what's next for you? What's next for you for like the next 2, 3, 5 years? I know some people don't like to think that far ahead, but what do you feel like you want to do? Do you want to get into acting, TV, behind the on screen?
Yeah, so you know, just being where I am right now is kind of surreal, because it's something that like that I've wanted for a long time, and it's not even about getting recognized or like what famous is not even close to the word, right? Because it's not that, but it's just like I just love creating stuff. And to be able to do that now for a living, because I just this year is my first year that I've done this now as my job. It's so cool to think like, wow, and I'm like trying to embrace it, but I also want to think a little bit about the future and, you know, like the possibilities. And like I never knew that and people who are watching this who do act are probably like, that's not acting, but I would like to maybe take some acting classes and like really learn or work on the craft.
Improv.
Improv. Improv. And then also like my friend Lynette was talking to me about taking like a class for speaking, because like for example this event like I could have spoken at it, but I'm a weenie. Like I'm scared. I don't know. I just need to work
Public
on
speaking.
things like that, you know,
Yeah.
because I get real nervous. Like in a setting like this, perfect, great.
Okay,
but
good,
like,
good.
There's like a million people
Yeah.
watching. I'm like, I didn't even have a quinceañera because I didn't want people looking at me. Literally.
You didn't want the audience.
No. So
In-person audience, yeah.
yeah. So I guess it's just working on myself to kind of like elevate a little bit more. And see where that takes me.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So just like Stephanie, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you consider yourself a leader?
I do. When I heard you asking her that question, I like started thinking to myself, because, you know, in instances like this, right, like how I said that I'm a little bit shy or whatever, but I guess being a leader doesn't necessarily have to look the same exact way for everybody. And I feel like the way that I lead, because I've had some positions where maybe I'm not like above everybody, but have to work as a team to get things done, and I'll be like the head, like asking, you know, this, that, or the other. And I just find it that I work really well with people because I think it's just the way that you ask for things to get done, and the way that you just the way that you treat people.
Yeah.
So I think that my way of leading is just together with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like you can accomplish a lot if you work
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
And I think Sierra's like un mandón, like, no, I want this, I want that. Like, I want results. Like, nobody wants to
be told.
be told what to do. But if you feel appreciated by the people who are leading you, if you feel seen, if you feel heard, like, then you can get like a lot more done together. Even like more than you would with somebody who's like this big shit.
I like that. You know, I'm going to take this portion and send it to my sister because she's always trying to be management. She's always the one like, yeah, I'm going to sign everybody up. You know, paint the walls. You clean the... I'm not doing... Marisela, if you're fucking going to do this shit, you can't be telling people what the fuck to do. It's collaboration.
It's collaboration. That's exactly it. Because at my old job, I did marketing. And one of the things that I had to do that was like my biggest task was in Las Vegas, there was this big trade show. And I was in charge of our like, you know, booth and all of that. It's a lot of work, right? Like a lot. And you have to work with several people to be able to get like all the tiny little details done. And then one time somebody asked me like for another job opportunity, like, what are you? And I was like, if you look at it on paper, it's like a project manager, right? But I didn't even consider myself that much because I was like, no, I just have people help me to do this and that. But it's like I said, it's just like collaboration, working together, and you can get a lot done.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for coming on here. Again, I don't want to hold on. I don't want to hoard the people that I have in my room. I'll let y'all go and go back downstairs and enjoy the summit. Thank you so much for coming on here and having a conversation with me. I see you online. I've seen your growth, and I think you're doing amazing things. Thank you so much. But before you go, can you wave at my camera? Bye. And with that, we'll see you next time.